Hello there crafties! Welcome back to my channel. For those who are new here, my name is Nisa and I love to do sewing tutorial vlogs. As you can see in my background, change atmosphere muna tayo guys. Kasi nandito tayo sa store namin kasi mahirap mag-film sa bahay with all the construction going on for my future sewing room. Yay! I'm so excited guys. Pero it turned out, maingay din pala dito guys kaya please bear with me na lang ha. So, nag-order ako sa Shopee nitong eyelet and gauze fabric last 2 months with an intent of making it in a dress. Pero up until now, hindi pa rin ako makapag-decide guys kung ano ba talagang design ng dress ang gusto kong gawin. But after seeing this top, kung napansin nyo guys, may similarity yung fabric na gamit sa top nito sa fabric ko, diba? So I decided, gagawin or gagayahin ko na lang muna itong top na to. Marami naman akong na-order na fabric. I'll just work with what's left with it na lang sa susunod pag nakahanap na ako ng design ng dress na gusto kong gawin. So, in this series of vlogs, magiging 3-part siya guys. Because I want to walk you through with every details from the drafting of the bodice and the puff sleeve pattern where we're gonna use the slash and spread technique. I'm going to show you those in this vlog. The part 2 will be the cutting of the flans or the circular ruffles. May 2 ways yan siya guys. And the part 3 is the most exciting part for me, the sewing part. If you are interested on how this project will turn out, will it be a yay or a nay? Just continue watching at kung hindi ka pa subscribed, you might consider subscribing. And please don't forget to leave a like or comment down below of what you think of this vlog. And baka meron din kayong mga ideas for my future vlogs. So without further ado, let's get started. Before pala tayo mag-start sa ating pattern drafting guys, i-examine muna natin yung details ng top na gagayahin natin for today. Sa Shein app, search lang natin drawstring eyelet. Ito na siya guys. As you can see, separate parts yung front bodice at strap niya. Tapos ruched with string yung center part niya. Yung ruffle detail naman sa bandang waist part niya ay hindi gathered kundi circular ruffle or flans ang tawag dyan. Tingnan natin yung back part niya. As you can see, wala siyang zipper sa likod. I think stretchy siguro yung gamit nilang fabric dito kaya hindi needed ng additional opening para maisuot siya. Pero kung non-stretch naman, katulad ng gamit nating fabric, nasa gilid siguro yung zipper niya. Kaya for this project, sa gilid natin ilalagay yung ating zipper guys. Let's now start on the drafting of our bodice pattern. Finally, I secured a manila paper which we'll be using as a drafting paper for this project. I folded it in half. This will be the back part and this becomes the front. First thing that we'll need to do is draft the shoulder line, where we apply half of the shoulder measurement. Mine is 6 inches. From there, we need to mark 1 inch down for the shoulder slope. To draft the bust line, we're gonna use half of armhole circumference. Mine is 8 inches. Now we can apply 1/4 of bust measurement. To make the armhole, we need to mark the center of this part right here. Then mark 1 inch to the left. We can now connect these dots using a French curve. Next, we're gonna be drafting is the length of the bodice. My desired length is 14 inches, which is also the measurement from the base of my neck to my waist. So this basically becomes my waistline, where we apply 1/4 of waist circumference. I then connected these 2 points of the side part using a hip curve to add a little curve to it. It's now time to draft the front neckline. In here, I applied my desired neck depth, which is 6 inches. I drawn a line across the edge of the armhole since this part of the top will be cut separately from the strap. From the folded edge of the paper, I drafted 3.75 inches, which is half of my desired chest opening. Then applied the strap width on the shoulder. This is a front draft of our bodice. To make the back part, we only need to make changes on the neckline and the armhole. To draft the back neckline from the base of the neck part, I marked 1 inch down, which is my preferred back neck depth. You can adjust it down to any depth depending on your design. I connected it to the inner edge of the strap using my French curve. To make the back armhole, from the center of the armhole line, I marked 1/2 inch to the left. Then again, connected 3 points using a French curve. And this is now becomes our back bodice. To separate the front and back pattern, I cut it along the folded line. This is the back part. I then cut off the parts of back armhole and neckline to fully expose the edges on these parts of the front bodies. I also cut to detach the strap, since the front strap and the bodies will be cut separately. Please be reminded that I haven't added any seam and hem allowance on these patterns yet, since I decided to add them later as I cut the fabric following the template of these patterns. Let's move on to the drafting of our puff sleeve pattern. But before we could draft our puff sleeve pattern, we need to make the basic pattern first. With a new piece of folded drafting paper, I made a vertical line. From there, marked 4 inches to the right for the sleeve cap. I then continuously measure the edges of both front and back armhole, then divide it in two. From the top part of the first line, I pivoted the measuring tape until the 10-inch mark reaches the bottom part of the second line. Made the marking, then connected it to the top of the first line. I then divided the length of the newly traced diagonal line in 3. From this first division point, I drafted 1 inch to the left. Then at the center of the second and last point, I drafted 1/4 inch to the right. We can now manually connect the newly drafted points by drawing a curve. Next we're gonna apply is the length of the sleeve. My desired length is 7 inches. I then traced 6 inches down, which is half of my bicep circumference. To draft the curve of the front sleeve, I marked the center of the first and the second division point, then drafted 0.3 inches to the left, then traced another line. The next step is adding seam and hem allowances following the curve of the back sleeve. To get the right curve of the front sleeve, I'll trace 1/2 inch away from the red curve line. Then cut along the newly traced curve. To turn this basic sleeve pattern into a puff sleeve pattern, we will use the slash and spread technique. I drawn a line along the center fold of the sleeve. From there, made another set of lines 3 inches away on both sides. Then cut. With a new piece of drafting paper, I position the pieces of the pattern 1.5 inch from each other. I highlighted edges of each pattern for you guys to clearly see each part. Then traced its edges connecting the gaps. From the top center of the curve, I marked 2.5 inches up to add to the cup height. Then again, make another curve. Since we already added seam and hem allowance earlier, so we don't need to add them while cutting the fabric later. In my next vlog, I will show you guys the 2 ways to cut the circular ruffles. But for now, here is a quick look of our finished project. What do you guys think? You can freely write your thoughts in the comments section right down below. I hope you guys learned something from this vlog that you can use in your future projects. Thank you guys for watching and see you in my next vlog. Bye bye!